Hi Sumantra, how are you?
Hey, hi, I'm good. Tell me.
This is the ninth episode of our podcast series, and I know you have been really busy. And thanks a lot for making some time and doing this. It's always nice talking to you. So yeah, let's get things started. So a brief
Yeah.
introduction about yourself.
I'm a marketing professional. I like motorcycles because it lets me get away from what I otherwise do, which is
Right,
sit at a desk and work on a computer.
right.
And I have attention deficit issues, and the only time I'm at peace and I feel like I'm meditative is when I'm behind the handlebars.
Super.
So, which is why I love motorcycles. I started touring on motorcycles because it was cheaper, and that's the only mode of transport I had back in college, right? So I didn't
Right.
start because it was cool, or back then honestly it
Okay.
wasn't much of a lifestyle. Yeah, and I used to live in Delhi, and the mountains were close, and I started
Right.
riding up, and I realized, oh, it's very different because you can smell through every terrain you're
Hmm.
crossing. You feel the change in pressure, temperature, everything. So that's what made me realize that I really like doing it. Yeah, that's me.
Super. The last few months, it has been tough on all of us, especially who like to travel, maybe on a motorcycle or otherwise. It's been quite tough. How are you dealing with it, with no rides or no motorcycle travel happening?
Since the Unlock 1.0 started, I've tried to at least ride out every alternate Sunday to some trail close by, and that's amazing because the first time I went, I realized how much I had missed it
Right.
because when the first lockdown happened, everything was shut and everything was very new to us, and it
Yes.
felt like we were in some movie and there's a zombie apocalypse and we are staying indoors. Right?
Right.
So you don't realize what you're missing out on.
Yes.
And
Yes.
uh, honestly, the lockdown has made me realize the appreciation for even going through Bangalore traffic and going to work, because at least we sit on the bike for 30 minutes, and that was also gone. We're
Right.
working from
Right.
home.
Yes.
So lockdown was tough, but it was absolutely necessary. So I mean, there's no way around it. Ulta, I would say that it helped me uh, gain some more gratitude towards the things that we have, towards
Yeah.
the
Right.
ability to take leaves, see amazing places, and the
Right.
fact that our country has so many brilliant places to go to.
Right.
So I looked at the lockdown in a more positive way, and I'd spent 2019. I think I spent about 2.5, 3 months in the mountains
Yes.
during the summer.
Yes.
I was not really working.
Yes.
So this year made me realize what I had accomplished, and it was amazing. So yeah,
Right.
that's what.
Nice. Now coming to the motorcycle part of it. I have seen that you have done a lot of rides on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. So firstly, when you bought the Himalayan, why the Himalayan?
I bought the Himalayan 2018, I think, or 17. I don't remember. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, all of us had been waiting for the Himalayan for a really
Right.
long time.
Right.
And I'm on my eighth bike currently, and out of them, four have been Royal Enfields.
Super.
So, and whether I've had a love-hate relationship with Royal Enfield, but the fact that I went back and bought Royal
Right.
Enfield bikes for four times, right, says that there is some bond there. And
Yeah.
it's stupid. It's probably romanticizing things which we should not do. But I love thumpers. I'm a lazy fat guy who likes low end torque. And
Okay.
honestly, in India, you don't really have any options.
Yeah. True.
And we've been waiting for the Himalayan for a really long time because we've been
Hmm.
doing adventure rides even
Hmm.
before we knew it what
Right.
adventure rides were, right? And we're doing it on classics and Enfields, and we would when I remember when the first EFI bike that I got was the classic 500, and when the
Okay.
first time I went to the mountains, I discovered, oh, it's running rich because it doesn't have a specific sensor to take the feedback in. And so my journey of understanding more about motorcycles have been through Royal Enfields, and
Okay.
um, the first adventure tour in the country being Himalayan, I
Hmm.
definitely always wanted to have it, which is why I got it. And I would say I was more surprised because I've had, like I said, love-hate relationship with
Hmm.
Enfield. So some things are really good. Some things I've had uh, bad experiences, mostly from the service angle. I won't say product
Hmm.
specific. So when I got the Himalayan, I was blown away because I had not felt anything which handled that well
Hmm.
off-road
Hmm.
before that. And it made me realize that just buying a tool doesn't make you ride better. You have to
Yeah.
upskill also.
Right.
So I honestly bought the Himalayan because it was perfect for the kind of riding I like to do, and it made me push my skills harder and make me realize that I need to learn more.
Super. And I have seen a lot of posts on your Facebook feed regarding relating to the mountain ride that you did last year on the Himalayan. So some amazing, beautiful stories and amazing photos. And tell us something about that. How was that experience riding in the mountains on the Himalayan?
Um, So the funny thing is that I had done quite a few trips with the Himalayan while being in Bangalore, in Karnataka, Kerala, etc. But until you take the Himalayan to the Himalayas, it just feels incomplete, right?
Right.
So last year I got to take it to, first of all, I took it to Sikkim, and after that I went to Pangi Valley, etc. And it was pretty surreal because you often, when you buy a bike which is focused towards one part, whether it's street, whether it's highway, whether it's off-road, you know you're going to compromise. And with the Himalayan, I felt that the compromise was least because you were as comfortable on the highway or in the winding carts as you were on the off-roads. And there's this particular moment which usually the moment when you realize that you bought the correct bike comes fairly close to after you buy it, right? It might be the first ride or something. But for me, it happened several months later when I was heading up to Gurudharma Lake in Sikkim. And the last stretch there is, it's pretty off-road, it's pretty gnarly, and there are lots of rocky sections. And I was with a group with a lot of different bikes. And I realized I was just standing and sending. Like, I did not think twice that whether the bike can take it or how I should change my riding style. From smooth, curvy ghats to off-road section, I just went like this, and I didn't have to alter anything. And that made me realize that I have the correct vehicle. And for me, it was really fun. The other trip that I did with Himalayan last year was when we went to Sach Pass and Pangi Valley.
Right.
That's honestly fairly remote as compared to the Spiti and Ladakh section. So the roads are narrow, and you take one turn and the road completely vanishes. I mean, I'm talking even not paved roads, but even dirt track vanishes, and suddenly there's boulders. It was really good fun because the day that we crossed Sach Pass was the day it opened last year, and there were like 35, 40 feet snow walls. There was snow everywhere. And I wasn't really riding. I was just holding on to the handlebar, and the bike did its thing because both the wheels are sliding. You can't brake, you can't activate. So it was extremely thrilling. Like, there was so much adrenaline pumping that till 6 o'clock that evening, we were like always ready to do stuff, and we're not feeling tired and stuff. That I would say that that is the most exciting and adventurous ride I've ever done because of those 3 hours crossing that whole pass, which is completely snowed out. And every time you put your foot down, you don't know if it's going to crunch and your leg is going to go down or it's going to. So, and the Himalayan is fairly heavy, but honestly, it handled its weight pretty well. It was me that was making the bike drop. Otherwise, even though it slides, it kept going straight. So I would hit the snowball on one side, go to the other, hit another snowball, come there. So yeah, that was my most exciting experience with the Himalayan last year.
Amazing, super. And have you ridden the new twins, the Interceptor or the GT?
Interceptor, yes. Very briefly, I've not gotten the opportunity to ride them long distance, but I borrowed a friend's Interceptor and I rode through peak Bangalore traffic from, I think, Hennur to HSR. And I was blown. When I took the bike, I was screaming that why am I riding during traffic? I won't even be able to switch gears. But the traffic was an eye-opener because the clutch never got stiff. The engine was not heating. And even though it's a big twin, right? Cutting through traffic was so easy, and it's one of those feelings, right? Having that extra cylinder where you have effortless power everywhere. Riding singles for so many years, we know we are always waiting for the power band to come, and we try to stay. But with the twin, you don't need to do anything, and it was it was good fun. The funniest thing was when I was taking it out of the parking, I was struggling. I couldn't move. I was wearing horrible shoes. I was sliding. I was like, why is this bike? But the moment you start moving, the weight vanishes, dude. It's amazing. I really like the 650. I wish I could get a little more time with it to understand it. Because, you know, the first 15 kilometers, you're still trying to figure out the brake, clutch and all of that. And you're not able to enjoy the ride. But yeah, the little bit I rode through traffic, it was fun.
Okay.
And that excites me more about the next Himalayan actually.
and whenever you wish to take the Interceptor out, or you want it for a day or two, you can always contact me. I can get you an Interceptor. You can just go for a ride and have some fun on it. And uh, I have seen lately that you guys are going out on trails across Bangalore. So how is the situation now? What do you feel? How different is it from compared to the past?
So, see, one thing that has pushed us to take more trails is that, first of all, we are getting better at our
Hmm.
skills and we are enjoying trails a lot more. The other thing is it's social distancing by default, right? If
Yeah.
you go where no one lives, you don't have
Right.
to interact with
Right.
anyone. You don't have to constantly be bothered or putting up the mask.
Right.
So that way it's fun, and we are becoming more Atmanirbhar, I'd say. So I pack. My wife makes amazing sandwiches, egg sandwiches, and I carry them
Heard
with me, so
about
we
it.
don't have to
Yes.
stop anywhere to eat. You carry. I have a 3 liter decathlon water bladder,
Right.
and I pack 3 sandwiches. And there's this tiny backpack I carry, and you're self-sufficient. And I realized that going to trails like that, where you're not
Hmm.
meeting anyone or not even stopping for a chai anywhere, makes you feel like you've come much further from home than you actually have. Like the trails behind Ramnagara, they are like 75 kilometers from where I live,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it feels like, oh, it's a proper break because I'm not in touch with people. I'm not seeing any
Right.
shops or anything. I'm carrying my own food. We are amidst nature.
Right.
So I think it's a lovely break, and maybe if Corona hadn't happened, we'd still be doing more rides which are closer to the highway or stopping at dhabas.
Hmm.
So that's a good thing that has happened, I'd say.
Nice.
And yeah, the only thing that I hate about myself is that my motorcycle's exhaust is a little loud now. So when
Okay.
I'm going through villages to reach the trail, I'm like, I'm that guy I used to make fun of, that why is that guy's bike so loud?
I get that. And I know that you have been really busy lately. So, any plans of long rides in the near future, or maybe 3 or 4 months down the line?
I don't know about the timeline because I don't know when things are going to get better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yes, plans are definitely there. So last year I did go to Zanskar, but we were not able to do Shinkula and crossover
Shinkula.
because the road,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
road
Right.
hadn't opened. About a month later, people crossed over.
Right.
It's not really the road even then, but yeah. So that's one thing that's pending, which I really want to do. But the other thing is, I've always wanted to go to Arunachal, which I still haven't. I've been
Mm,
all the way up to
mm,
Sikkim thrice, but I've
mm.
not been to Arunachal. So I would really love to do that in, I don't know, let's say April or October, avoiding the rainy
Yeah.
months there. But it
Yeah.
all depends on whether it's safe, and you don't want to burden or risk other people
Right.
just
Right.
because you want to travel and have fun, and you might be fit and you might be asymptomatic, but you could be carrying something, right?
Right.
So yeah, there are dreams of a lot of rides, but it all depends on how soon we can get a vaccine or something.
Right. Right. Hopefully everything gets back to normal and we get out and ride more. And once again, thank you, Sumantra, for doing this and making some time. It's always nice talking to you, and maybe we can catch up for a ride maybe
Yeah,
soon, and
yeah,
we can ride together, do some trails or something like that.
there's always time to talk motorcycles. We'll
Definitely.
figure
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
some Sunday morning ride.
Sure,
Right.
definitely. Thank you, Sumantra.
Super. Thanks. Bye bye.